So, welcome everyone. I'm Chris Hammers, aka Chris the Crappy, here for Hammers Tech, along with my nephew
DJ.
and my father. We're going to be teaching them how to build a PC today. I've built a couple PCs before in my life. However, it's been a long time. About 18 years to be exact was the last time, because for work I've been dealing with Mac computers for a long time. So this is actually the last computer I built. See, it's giant, very heavy, very UV on the inside with UV lights. State of the art back then, pretty useless today. Computer technology does change quite often. So we actually have a a camera setup that is overhead. Kevin says hello, Father.
Hello.
Wait, who Kevin?
Kevin from across the street.
Kevin.
Here he's a wasabi unagi. So we actually have a camera here set up, as we can see when we actually are putting things together, hopefully. Give you a better, in-depth, closer look. And we'll kind of be switching back and forth between the cameras, and maybe even both. So you can see what's kind of going on. First things first, as you may have noticed on the overhead, we do have a strap that will help us provide anti-static capabilities. The main reason being that we are on carpet. It's not as needed anymore in today's computers. They have a lot of things to make it so you can't hurt your components. They have built-in protection, but it's still a possibility, especially when you're on carpet. It is even more likely. So we'll be swapping this around, and what you actually see is we will be making sure that the cable is grounded to some metal. So we'll actually take the case out first, even though the case will be the last thing we'll do. And that'll make sure we're grounded and safe. So first we're kind of going to go over the parts. You can see them all on the bed over here. The main components of a PC are, of course, the motherboard, which houses everything. The CPU, or Central Processing Unit, which does all of the thinking. The RAM, or Random Access Memory. The best way I ever heard about it is someone said, RAM is like your desktop. So how much RAM you have means how much stuff you can put on your desktop and work on at one time. Whereas your hard drive, or what's now a SSD, a solid state drive, is how much you can kind of store. It's your file cabinet. So obviously then a hard drive or solid state drive is also needed. We are going to use only solid state drives today. They are much faster, draw less power, and are easier to deal with. Naturally, you need a power supply to actually power everything up.
Do you need to show these?
Yep, we will as we go through. And then, if you're into games, you may need a video card. As we go through here, we'll kind of go why I chose things, why you might choose things.
DJ.
Yeah, don't carry it, buddy. Don't hurt the desk. And that is a tiny, tiny text. I apologize here. I'm just making my text a little bit bigger so I can see anybody talking. There we go. Alright, so obviously the first place you want to start is your processor. What do you want to use for your CPU? The main ones everyone knows about, and really the only ones that you're going to choose between, is Intel and AMD. AMD's current line is Ryzen. Intel calls them the Core, i5, i7, and really the main differences between them is that Intel actually has graphics built in. So you don't need that graphics card I was stating if you want to play video games. Obviously a dedicated graphics card will be much better, and if you are big into games, a much better choice. And that's obviously what we'll be doing today. I should have started off actually by saying you want to know what you want to use your computer for to make these decisions. That helps you choose between your Intel CPU and your Ryzen CPU. So I am a gamer. I'm also a streamer, as you guys can see by joining me here. I also am going to be doing video editing, and I also will actually do programming. I'm a programmer in my day job. While it is on a Mac, I will program in other ways as well. So I'll be able to do it on a PC, and do PC programs is a useful thing. So for me, that gave me a reason to go with the AMD platform. The AMD platform, while being similar in price, is much better at what's called multi-core. So back in the day, my CPU down there was literally just one core. That means that it can do one instruction per second. Well, not per second, but at a time. So that was very limited. You could really only run one application at a time that was doing things. I'm sure, DJ, you do quite a bit of multitasking even on your laptop, right? You're watching YouTube, and then you're switching to a game, and you're going back and forth. On an iPad, it's a little bit different because you only have the screen space for one item. But on a PC, you can leave YouTube, you can have your Chrome browser open, and all this other stuff. But it's all dedicated and all using the same information at one time. So I went with Ryzen because that's kind of the advantage they have. Their newest one, not to get too in-depth, actually even beats Intel in gaming performance, which is what Intel generally held, and they're a little bit more stable, they're a little bit more less enthusiast, but that's what I went with. So I have here a Ryzen 3700X. This is an 8-core but 16-thread CPU, which means I can be running 16 different programs pretty efficiently at one time. There's also a little bit more to it. Another beautiful thing about the AMD is they come with fans by default. So I actually would not have to purchase a fan if I didn't want to. I actually did because I'm a power user, so I will be pushing my computer to the limit. So the cooler you can make it, the more you can push your computer. Heat is the enemy of everything. The enemy of humans, the enemy of cars, the enemy of electronics. The more heat you have, the worse something's going to run. So that's why I went with AMD, and I'll show you we actually have what's called an AIO, an all-in-one cooler. So DJ, this thing actually has water on the inside. And it pumps water around to keep the CPU cool. So instead of the default one that just pushes air like this fan up here.
Like you mean it will like light up like yours?
Well, that it will do that, but that's not because of the water. That's called RGB. So that's something we'll get into a little bit later. I am a person who likes RGB, so my computer is very flashy. My old computer, as I said before, actually has UV lights in it. Here, let's put it over here. You okay? Actually had UV lights in it, so it was very light up. This one's going to be very RGB heavy, with a white as its main color, because that's my wife said that's the color she likes and thinks it makes a sense. But what this actually uses is uses water. So you see on the image right here, DJ? This is called a radiator. It actually has water that runs through this, back up through these wires to this thing that's called a pump, and will push the water to actually use the fans to push the heat away. So actually we'll keep it cooler by using water. But obviously water is not good for computers, so you got to make sure you know what you're doing when you do it. So we'll be dealing with that today. And then the next thing you have to do is get a motherboard. Motherboards are tied to the CPU you're going to use. CPUs have a certain number of pins inside them that only match up with other ones. That is probably one of the more confusing parts about dealing with computers. And that's where you're going to have to do research a little bit on your own. You know, I can only give you so much information, but AMD right now has actually done a very consumer-friendly thing where they've had 4 different generations of CPUs. So their last 4 CPUs all use the same socket, which means, you know, you can upgrade instead of having to buy a completely new platform, new motherboard, and everything every 2 years. You can just buy a new CPU, take off the fan, put on a new fan, and you're all set to go. So I went here with what's called the X570, that's a chipset, and that actually allows very fast features between the video card, the CPU, the SSDs, and a lot of overclocking features. So I can actually make my computer go faster than it was designed for. And that's where the cooler will come into play. So we're going to take this out. I'll show you guys here. So if you want to come over, DJ, you can take a look. So So this thing's really pretty.
Can we take this? Oh.
You can take that out because actually there's more stuff underneath there.
What, the beanstalk?
Yep. So a lot of these companies like giving you stickers, but we also have cables and other things we may need to actually get it up and running. Now, something about this motherboard is that it is a very high-end motherboard. As I said, it does the overclocking features, but some things that it also has, the more expensive motherboard, you do get features that are potentially useful. So we get 3 slots here for the newer solid-state drives. They're called NVMe. What that means is they actually plug directly into the motherboard. That means they consume less power. They're more than 10 times as fast as the old SSDs. I'll show you once we get them in. It has better ability to overclock, like I was saying, so I want to make it faster and go even faster than it's designed to go. And a simple little thing that's kind of nice is it has what's called an I/O shield built in right here. So you see, DJ, your normal computer, and that's where you plug in your mouse, your keyboard, your network connection, your audio. Normally, this shield is separate. So it becomes really hard. You got to put it in your case, push it in the right spot, and when you put the motherboard in, you got to hope it's in the right spot. This makes that a lot easier. Now, I also actually have this computer running for quite a bit of time beforehand. So another feature this thing has is it has error codes. So this little LCD right here will tell me what's wrong with it. So I can actually know, oh, this is error code 25. And I can then look up and say, oh, that means the memory is broken. So it's very helpful. It also has a power button. So when I don't have it in a case, which I didn't for a couple weeks, I could still power it on without having to just touch wires here. So we'll go into that. I think what we'll do is we'll have Father deal the work with some of the first stuff here. So we're going to take the CPU out. Give you this down.
Doesn't matter which one.
No, it doesn't matter which hand. So, take on the CPU. This is the CPU socket right here, DJ.
DJ, look. Okay.
This is the socket. Now, another difference between AMD and Intel is that AMD still uses pins on the CPU. So you see how there's actually holes in there?
Oh, they've got to fit in.
So it's got to fit in.
So
What Intel does is instead the pins are on the socket and you just drop it on top. So it's less likely to break because you have to be very careful when you touch this to make sure you don't break it. Now the other thing to know is you lift this and that opens it up. Now the other question you might be asking yourself right now, how do I know which way to put it? Right? How do I know which way to orient it? Well, luckily they thought about that. So the CPU right here, and that's all the processor is. Just this little chip, and there's all those pins. If you mess one of those pins up, it won't work. But the little trick is, see, it has this little arrow right there. There's a little arrow right there too.
Okay.
So you match them up to face the same way. So let's let Opod take that out. Watch the pins. Don't touch the pins.
I know. Where's the arrow? The arrow's here?
Yep.
Oop.
And now don't push down at all. It should find its own way in.
Is it in?
Nope. There we go. Now it's down. And now we have the CPU in.
That's an important part.
That's pretty much the most important part of the system. Now.
Wow.
Yep, so you can take that off. So the next thing we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to actually put in the memory. We're not going to put the CPU cooler in yet. If we were to be using the stock one that came with it or a normal air cooler, we'd probably put it in now. It would be easy enough to do. But because of how big this thing is, we want to make sure we put it in the case. So what we'll do next is we'll do the RAM. Oh, Wasabi's taking a shot. I guess I'll take a sip myself.
How do you know Wasabi's taking a shot?
Yeah, he told us. So everyone in chat can text. And he said every time we install a component, he's going to take a shot. So the next thing is the RAM. Now what I got here, DJ, is really pretty light up RAM. You see, it's actually white on the edges, but it has all these colors, and you can make these colors turn whatever color you want. They can move, they can turn rainbow colors, they can do a ton of different things.
But how?
Oh, well, once you put it on the computer, it will have a default mode, probably just rotate its colors. But you can download software that will actually talk directly to the RAM and tell it what to do. So you can say, just be red, just be blue, or go in a crazy pattern. Or you can sometimes even let you go to the music you're playing. So it'll beat to the music. Boom, boom,
Oh, that
boom,
sounds
boom.
interesting, doesn't it?
Now, we have 4 RAM slots here.
4 RAM slots. Okay. See
Now,
those?
another confusing thing about CPUs is you almost always want to at least have multiples of 2 when you do your RAM. The reason being is RAM is set up what's called dual channel. So, and again, it's very confusing, but that actually allows the speed to work twice as fast. If you just put in 1 RAM stick, it'll be much slower than if you put in 2 RAM sticks. I personally did 4, so we're going to have all 4 in. But if you only did 2, you have to make sure you read the motherboard's manufacturer, or the motherboard manufacturer's manual, because it'll actually tell you you want to only put it in slot 2 and slot 4 most of the time. Again, this is one of those confusing things that you learn from doing, but I'm here to tell you guys and teach you. And, you know, again, this is in the manual, so if you were to do this on yourself, you'd understand by doing it manually. So we're going to open up all of these, and if you notice, DJ, it has a little line here. So what that means is this one has an opening there, so you can only put it in one way, okay?
Can I touch it?
Yeah, I'm going to let you put them in.
Want to put this on?
Yeah, why don't you put that on? Nope, gotta turn it the other way. Now we'll tighten it. Okay.
Should have put it on this
Yeah, we should have put it on your left hand, but we'll deal with it. So, you see that if I put it in that way? That's wrong. See how the line doesn't line up? Okay, so you're gonna put it in like that.
So you make sure like the letters are this way.
So here, you can do the next one. Gentle with it. Okay, don't push down yet. We'll push down later. Now, something,
Sure.
bless you, something that's very confusing and was very scary my first time was that every time you have to push down RAM, you gotta push down really hard. Now, you don't want to push too hard because you can break it. Now, again, being a higher end motherboard, it's a little bit thicker, it can resist a little bit more. And actually, as you see, it actually has metal around these to reinforce them. But we still want to go hard, but not too hard when you push them down. So I know that's kind of a hard thing to state, but I think you'll get the hang of it. Let me move this stuff out of our way. All right. So you can take those out and put them in. Be gentle with them. Try to not touch any of the gold parts, because that's where the contacts are.
Hey, right?
Ooh, watch yourself. DJ, you got this in the way. There you go. No, gentle. Nope, not in. Here, let me turn it this way for you. Now you can see a little better. It's all right. You got it. Take your time. There you go.
All right, good job.
All right. And one more. Make sure that wire's out of your way.
Wires in your way.
Yeah, we'll make sure we put that on your left hand next time. I'll hold it out of your way.
There, left hand of that.
Go slow. Nope, don't push. Don't push until you got it in. So I'm going to push the first one down to show you. So again, it's going to be a lot harder than it looks. And you want to try to push both sides at the same time. And you hear it snap. You want to give it a try? No? All right. I'll do the rest. Oh, you do? Okay. Try to do it at the same time with both hands.
Both hands.
Straight down, buddy.
I can't do it with both hands because of this.
Okay. Here. Let's take this on your other hand then. Put it on that side. There you go. Let me tighten it up. All right, give it a try. Just do one of them at a time, not more than one. Yeah, it's pretty hard, huh? Here, do it with me. Okay, so just use your thumb. Boom. All right, let's do another one. Straight down. All right. Good job, buddy.
All right, DJ.
Whoop. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to choose, good job.
What are you doing here, DJ?
All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do
People watching.
is a hard drive. But, like I said, they're called solid states now. Solid state drives. The old ones were literally spinning disc. Kind of like, remember, like a CD player? Do you even know what a CD player is? So, kind of like a CD player, just spun, and it would read it from that. But it was internal. Now, they're more like memory chips. So look how tiny this thing is. That's how tiny this thing is. This is
Tiny.
That's how tiny it is. This is my finger for comparison. Now, what this will go into is these slots here. Now, what's something to keep aware of is that this is a 3.0 version of this kind of drive. These actually support 4.0 versions. So, for right now, all that means I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the top one because the top one is normally the fastest one. I'm going to put in the middle one. So, simply what we'll do to get that out is we'll take this screwdriver.
Now there's two scanners.
There's two what?
Scanners, like the scan.
Oh yeah, QR codes. So we'll just literally take this guy off right here. And this heat shield will come right out. Now this heat shield, oops. Okay, I guess that's not magnetized right now. Now this heat shield can actually be put on to, again, reduce the heat. Because again, even hard drives and SSDs need that. So I've already done this again, because again, this was installed. But we put these little standoffs. They actually are in the motherboard box, something you'll get. So let me see if I can just take it out just to show you what it would look like normally. So normally it wouldn't have anything, but there's different sizes of these drives. Let me put this on myself, just to be safe. But you can look at it here and go, okay, it needs to be this one because of the size. So we put the standoff in. And you don't want to over tighten anything on a computer. It's not a car, it's not designed to torque. And simply, we put it in. Now, interesting on this guy, you actually put it at an angle. But DJ, see again, it has a little mark, so you know which way to put it in. It only goes in one way. And you push it down, and you get the screwdriver. Ooh, bless you.
Sorry.
Oh, I got that going the wrong way. There we go. I think I got the wrong screw in. So I do need to go in my box. Let me sneak by DJ. Yep, you can take that out for me. Thank you. And just stickers they give you. People like putting stickers on their stuff. You know, whereas I like doing RGB, some people like putting stickers. And here we go. Here is the screw to be used for that. It's actually a
Don't take that off,
slightly longer screw than the other one.
please.
Okay. Now, this is actually called a thermal pad. So, all these surfaces, even though they look like they're flat, have little imperfections in them. And what that allows is air gaps. And as you may know, air doesn't do a very good job of transferring heat. So we do either a thermal pad, like this. This is literally like a sticky pad. Or as we'll do on the CPU, a actual paste that will spread around. And that will help fill in those cracks and make it so everything can go through. Oop, wrong way. Be helpful if I did that correctly. Even people know what they have done it before can mess up. Oh, I might have threaded that too much. There we go. All right. Now, as I said, there's also another type of drive. Another type of solid state drive. This is the more recent style. This is the 2.5-inch hard drive, solid state drive as they call it. Now this is very similar to the old hard drives, but the old hard drives were much bigger and much fatter. Now I'm not going to put this in right away, for the reason being that when you want to install something, you got to go into the motherboard and actually tell it what hard drive you want to connect to. So if I take away one and don't put both in at the same time, it's a lot easier for the computer to maybe be smart enough to know which one to use. So we're not going to put that in right now. But as you can see, we're actually going along pretty quickly. Right now, if you had an Intel, you'd only need to put the fan on, and you could plug your computer in and be done. But, as I said, we're an AMD, and AMD doesn't have built-in graphics. However, we can't put the graphics card in until it's in the case. It won't fit correctly. So what we're going to do next is get the case ready. So let's move this giant box. Just to kind of show everyone some of the things that are in here. Here's, for example, the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna that will plug into these ports, as well as cables for the hard drive that I just showed you, the solid state drive. So these are the cables for it. So they usually provide a lot of the things for you. I myself have a pretty orange one, as I enjoy the orange color. Hey, Suck, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining. Auto X Man. Oh, thank you. You put the sticker on me. Look at that. How's it going, Auto X Man? The whole days of PC, they were so much they were easier, but they were harder at the same time. So as I said, we have the hard drive, the SATA SSD, which is where you can do normal hard drives still, or these SSDs, or the NVMe. We had IDE, SCSI. You know, the number of interfaces alone were mind-bogglingly confusing. But you know, we've kind of upgraded ourselves and made things a little bit easier. So I'm going to move this out of our way. And I don't know if this is going to be tall enough because we have a fairly big case here. So DJ, let's take a look at how big this case is. think let's do it this way. Let's turn it upside down.
Yeah.
All right. Can you help me? Oh, it's heavy.
Oh my god. I'm really not with that. Everyone watch your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your feet.
Just.
That's packed in tight, huh, DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's wait. I don't know whether Uncle Chris wants that pulled off.
Yeah, we can pull that off.
Okay, then want it to fall.
Yep, we just want to be slow and careful about it.
Okay, I got this one.
You get
Give
that
me
one?
the other piece then, DJ. Can I have that? I'll keep that out of the way. Thank you.
All right. So this is the same company that my old case was from. See, it's a little bit smaller, but much bigger. And it has this giant window built in.
Just like a fish tank.
Mm-hmm, exactly. People like seeing what they can put in it. It's got a lot of room. Unlike this, you see that window, DJ? I had to cut that window out myself, as well as the glass to put in there. I did that all myself. Now, the companies do it for you. You don't even have to think about it. So, let's bring this guy up here. Oh, it does fit. Doesn't really look that good, but we'll see what we can do. Let's see if we can back that up a little bit.
Is that your phone?
That is my phone. So, what's nice is really some of these good, nice cases have these thumb screws. So you don't need a tool to open it. So you gotta do that. You take the top off. And it has this built-in mesh. What this does, DJ, is this stops all the dirt from coming into your computer. Because just like heat, dirt will hurt your computer, because if it blocks your fans can't stop the heat from coming in.
Yeah, to blow the heat out.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's put that back on top. But what this one is required is to do that is we need to take that top part off.
This?
Yep, no. The one I just took off, the metal piece, so that now we can take off the side piece of glass.
Whoa.
And you'll get the fun part later. A lot of people love when this little plastic comes off because the noise, they think it sounds good. Now, I'm going to take, you can see in here, all these other stuff it's got. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take these cages off. These cages right here, DJ, are so we can put that hard drive in. But instead, we're going to be putting fans here today. I'll put this back in the box. Now, something all these have is the power button. If you want to come up here, dude, you can see this. We got a power button and some USB ports.
Where's the power button?
Right here. So we need to be able to plug that in. So what it has is it has all those plugs right here built into it. And we'll put the motherboard in on that. So I think the next step we should probably do is put the power supply in. Because the power supply is obviously how we're going to get everything to work. So I'm going to pull this side off.
The back.
What is it called on? There we go. And as everyone can hopefully see once this moves down, a lot of space here. We can hide our cables, we can do a lot of things. Let's take these off. Got one screw right there.
Yeah.
Let's see how that's looking. There we go. And now we can manage our cables. Take a drink myself, get a little warm in here. So Auto X-Man, who are you? I do not remember specifically how many PCs I built senior year. So, we're going to take this power supply. Now this power supply that we have here is again a little bit of a higher end component, but what you get by doing that is you get ease of use. So, look just how pretty that is.
Power supply or is that a fan?
That's a power supply.
Okay.
Power supply generates a lot of heat, so it needs a fan on it. So there is a fan on it, as Gopal just noted. But what makes this so special is all of the connectors that go into it are modular. So you only have to plug in the ones you need. Otherwise, if you buy a cheaper fan, bless you DJ, if you buy a cheaper fan that doesn't have all of this, you're going to have a ton of extra cables that you're not using that are just taking up space. You got to move them out of the way, make sure they're not a nuisance.
You listen to this? It's important.
So let's put this right here for now. That looks like we got our screws and other stuff right here.
So who makes that power supply?
This power supply is made by Corsair.
Corsair.
They're actually, since my father is a big into stock market, they are in the stock market. They also recently bought the Elgato company, which you may have heard of,
Okay.
that does a lot of streaming items and gamer related items. They're also the same company that made the memory that we used.
Okay.
So that's why we were able to get kind of the white. So in this little box from the manufacturer Lian Li, who makes the case, they gave us some tie wraps. I'm not sure what this thing is, but it's got 3M tape on it, so maybe some type of holder and a little manual, along with all the different things that they of course sell and will try to upsell you with. And all of the screws you will need, because obviously we need to put in our power supply and our motherboard. So let's take these out. So just to show everyone, again, going with a very white build here.
Hi, Kyle.
So you can see all these cables. Hi, Kyle. All these cables are individual instead of all stuck into the power supply, something you need to try to deal with.
You have to sit on Opal's lap. Come on, Kyle.
No.
Yes.
All right.
And there's Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Kyle came to join us.
Kyle is actually my little brother.
That's right. So, Opal will let you deal with this next. So, the power supply. Let's see if we can get it this way to show. We kind of can't. And make room for this. Get those cables out of our way. And you can see these loops are actually here to help us do cable management later. As well as these holes, we can bring the cables everywhere we need.
It's me.
Yeah, that's you. So, all we have to do is line things up. You can see
Yep.
screw holes are all there. You also do not need to wear the brace right now because you are touching metal. So we'll be pretty well grounded.
Are these hand ones?
No, those are not hand ones. Hand ones are normally only kind of for the case itself, not the individual components. Is that DJ's drink though?
Yes.
Don't take DJ's drink.
No, there's nothing in it.
You finished it already. Alright, what's going on? So now, does anybody who's watching have any questions, any concerns? Something you just want to add? I see my video from the GoPro seems to be quite jumpy. That's highly unfortunate. Is it jumpy even on this? Ooh, it is. Wonder what's going on there. Kyle, please don't jump on. There's a lot of stuff there that I don't want to.
Chris, are the different size screws here? There's two bit. This was inside.
There should just be one size screw for that. No, it looks pretty giant.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's two size screws.
Yeah. I think these are too big.
Yep. So get that there too. That'll help you with some light. Now, while Opa installs the power supply, I want to show you a really cool feature, DJ. So for our fans today, we're going to be using a brand new thing that the manufacturer of the case actually makes as well, called the Unifan. So normally, when you have all these fans, oh, you need help opening that, Kyle?
Yeah.
It's open.
No, it's like
Oh, it's frozen.
frozen yogurt. Look, there. That was frozen yogurt.
So, what's cool about these fans is normally each fan is individual. So you gotta screw them in separately and it takes a lot of work and a lot of time. What this company came up with is these fans actually connect together. So instead of 3 wires for 3 fans, it's 1 wire. And they're all connected together so you can move them around. So it'll be kind of fun. We can put them together. I'm not going to be gentle. I'm going to rip this open. So taking out the ends of the components here.
But this does fit me.
Yeah. You get a game?
I'm a gamer.
So, you can see these fans right here
Oh,
will actually lock into each other. So let me show you how that works.
oh my god.
Nice. Why don't you open it? How you doing over there, Opa? Little one's not working? No, you want the little ones. This is the same one you tried to put in before.
No, this is what was in here.
No, there's other ones.
There's 2 sizes in here?
Yes, there's 2 sizes in there.
Oh.
Oh, you're getting all the same. It's completely different style and shape. See? These tiny ones right here. Alright, let me see, DJ. So, you see how this side looks like that, and this one has little dots?
Yes. Connect right together. Oh.
Put them in, slide them, and now they're one. Makes life a whole lot easier. Hey, how you playing some Xbox?
Can we play some Xbox after?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna play a game on the PC when we're done. Yeah, there's more. So DJ, you wanna do this on some of them too?
Yeah.
So why don't you get one of the other boxes?
Wait, the other one of that?
Yeah, there's 2 more boxes of them.
2 more.
And again, these
There's
have
supposed to be
RGB.
like 9 of these.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fans going in this case.
Since there's 3 in this one, 3 that we already opened, and 3 in that one.
And there's 1 more, that's right.
That makes 3.
That's correct.
Since this is 3, and that's and 3, and that's 3.
None of these are going in, Chris. I don't know what the story is.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's see what we're doing
These
here.
are the very small ones.
Go.
So obviously, you're going to run into issues as you're building any computer. Nothing ever goes smoothly. Let's take them all out. There's a ton of different kinds here. So these ones are actually the standoffs that hold the motherboard, similar to how the motherboard had a standoff to hold the hard drive. Oh no, these should be these. Ah, maybe this one, Father.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I haven't tried this one yet.
Nice. Yep, 4 of them, so it's probably exactly the one it is.
Yeah, that's
There we go. Sometimes it requires a little bit of trial and error.
okay. Where are they?
Alright,
Right here.
come on.
Okay, gotcha.
And as you can see, Kyle is on the bed.
Kyle's in Carney's area.
Which Carney is Uncle Chris's dog.
DJ, you want to try to put some of these together? Now, something else these fans come with, when you have so many like this, is they come with extra pads, you know, kind of 3M style sticky pads to help you secure the cables.
I can feel the wind.
They can hurt you, don't put your fingers in there. You can also break them.
How tight do these go, Chris?
Hand tight should be fine.
Okay.
Got all 4 in?
Yeah.
Alright, awesome. So the next thing we'll probably do is put in the motherboard. Now normally I would recommend testing the computer outside of the case. Because obviously it's a lot of work to put it inside the case only to find out it doesn't work.
Right.
You have to take it back out and try to figure out what component is not working. However, again, I have been using this computer, so I do know that the part should work unless we did something wrong. Which is of course possible, but once we get there, we'll figure that out.
Got a real audience here.
Oh yeah, we got a ton of people now.
How in the world I can get this in?
Just gotta push a little more.
There.
There you go, a little bit extra, nice. Now this is the fan controller that it comes with. This allows you to do is if you weren't connecting all the fans together, or as I'm doing with 3, it allows you to connect 4 different groups of fans together within the system. Now it does have some other connections we're going to have to read about, because unfortunately this is one of the things I'm going to be learning with you guys, as I have not done this before. But we'll get there. Alright. DJ's got that one done, so let's go into putting... Let's put the motherboard in. I think that's the good next step, while DJ works on that for us. So let's turn this back over. Oh, and the front came off. Let's get that panel out of there. Now, these, Father, are the standoffs that we'll use to tie in the motherboard. Ooh, what's ready? Ooh. Oh, so you got it wrong, so there you go. So you start it there, now close it. Give that a little bit of push. Oh, nice job. All right, put it on top of that one. Now, these, DJ, are the standoffs that hold the motherboard away from there, because obviously if the motherboard was touching the case, then the motherboard would also be part of the ground, so any electrostatic shock would go back into the motherboard. This case has them pre-installed and actually has different ways to configure them. We are doing what's called an ATX motherboard. There's also micro ATX, mini ITX, and enhanced ATX. Those are not things too much that you have to worry about here. But you know, it's something to know about if you want a small one. You know, I know my wife would really like a small PC. She'll be getting a mini ITX board. It'll be about half the size of our current board. So let me see. Oh, our GoPro died. Let me try to fix that real quick.
Kyle, I don't like you.
Kyle, please knock in that corner. Thank you.
Kyle, Why don't you come here with Hope? I don't want that yogurt on any of the computer stuff.
Let's see what's going on with GoPro.
What is in the blue shirt? Who's in the blue shirt?
What blue shirt? That's you. But it's broken right now. It's not working. Gotta figure out what's going on with the video here. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Ow!
Watch your fingers.
Alright, I guess the GoPro does not want to work. It's always fun when things make it challenging. We'll get by. We'll do just fine, right, DJ?
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's no point in showing that screen anymore. Let's go here. What I'll do real quick.
What?
There we go. Not as good, but better than nothing. Let's do it over here too. DJ, can you please stop playing with that?
Okay.
Thank you. And let's just do that. There is what it is. Okay. So we're gonna put this back in. Father, would you like to do the honors?
Bring this back in.
Yep.
Which way is it going to go?
So this is the slot right here where that I/O shield goes. As I said, it'd be a lot harder if it wasn't built in.
Is it
Yep, and then you just find where the standoffs go.
You see the standoff?
Yep.
I see that one.
There we go. All right. Our computer is now... Oh, actually, I know one thing we have to do. So excuse me. Because we are using this AIO, I know, even though I have not done one before, we have to take off this plate right here. This is normally the plate the default cooler would be using. And once we do that, there actually will be a plate in the back that falls off. We certainly don't want that to be stuck back there. And there's probably a new back plate we need to put on. So let's take that. Put that in this case over here. Are you singing, Rihanna? Oh, na na na.
No.
No, what are you singing? What are you singing? Can you open the door a little bit? It's getting hot. Thank you. All right. DJ, please, I've asked you. So if you can grab that plate, Father.
Grab that plate. Oh, that.
So that's the back plate. Now, I know this AIO will also need a backplate because it needs something to grab onto. So that's something that secures it in its location. Now this one does come with its own fans, but I will not be using these fans. Here is the pretty radiator and pump that we'll be using. Put that to the side for now. There we go. So let's find the instructions. Well, it's just one. Usually there is a different backplate for Intel versus AMD. Oh, they did come with thermal paste. Okay. There's no manual. Okay, there's no manual. You're supposed to figure this out on your own. Well, we're going to learn some stuff together. Nothing better than that. Okay, this actually says Intel on it.
Okay.
So clearly that's not the one we want. Oh,
It is.
but it says AMD on the back. So that's going to make it very confusing. So I'm going to take a quick look here. I apologize, everyone. We're not going to learn this ourselves here. This is the Lian Li Galahad backplate install. I'm actually looking at Lian Li's own introduction here. Kyle is a loud bird. Okay, on AMD.
Okay, don't start anything, DJ.
All right. So for AMD, we need to use this guy. And there's some standoffs. Oh no,
Hell.
that's not good, buddy.
What?
This.
Yeah, okay.
Not good.
Why don't you take it down to your mom or daddy or try to have them fix it?
No, you can't fix it. We're getting a new one
Oh.
today.
Okay. Let's see what I need here. Would have been nice if they would have included instructions, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, am I right? Mounting hooks, okay. Don't have enough light in here. It's okay, guys.
Guys, please.
Let Nico try to sleep, okay?
She put him down already?
No, he's not.
He was resting. He was.
Give me fish.
Here, you sit with Opa.
Oh. So, I was wrong. I'm supposed to put those back on.
Put one back on.
Put the things I just took off. Yep. Well, that's unfortunate. As I said before, Building a PC is a learning experience, even when you've done it before. So we're gonna put that back in. Okay, we're gonna have to do that on flat ground though.
Turn it over into it.
So let's see. These were for that, right? I'm gonna put them in here.
I don't know. You took the screws over, didn't you?
Watch out, TJ. Watch. What are these screws from?
I don't know.
Oh, from those.
Here's screws here. Here's.
Here, so I'm gonna move this over here.
Screws.
Yeah, no, I know I'm missing one. So yeah, can you grab those screws and that stuff?
Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna move this over here. Put that back plate back on. Thank you. We're gonna put this back on because apparently for this particular device, we were never supposed to take it off. Never screw things all the way in. You always want to make sure you kind of do a diamond pattern. Because you want to make sure your mounting pressure is equal and consistent.
Try to find the other one.
It's in the box. I know I threw it in there. Thank you.
Which box?
Kyle.
The big one?
Yeah, the big box.
Eat it. Don't you butt my finger. Don't you butt my finger. Don't you butt my
Okay.
Don't you butt my
Let's see how we do this here. I don't know why he's not. He has his tea though. Wasabi. He's drinking his tea.
Wasabi.
Mm-hmm.
Tea. Tea.
Okay, I found it.
Thank you, Opa.
Halloween night.
I really wish I didn't take those off now. Very much so. Just trying to make sure I put them back in the correct orientation.
Okay, please.
Hey, DJ.
DJ.
Okay, so I'm supposed to turn these the other way.
Opa. Watch out on your feet.
Just gotta make sure these go back in the correct orientation. Otherwise, they will be fairly useless. You okay?
No, I'm afraid these two are going to do something, that's all.
Yeah, just making life fun. Alright, so now we're back to square one, finally. Again, not too much pressure. Hand tight. You guys okay? Alright. So, what this seems to show me is I am to use these. That does not look very stable. So I'll take those out so we can still put it in then. So we'll do this again. For a second time, we'll put this back in. And again, they're all lined up.
What screws now?
So now we need to go back to these screws. And now will be those really tiny ones we had before.
Oh, there's a bunch over here too.
And again, you want to make sure you do it in a star type pattern. Doesn't really matter where you start. Don't go all the way in.
Is that one of the small ones?
Yep. Got a couple here. Now this was supposed to be a magnetized screwdriver. Guess I haven't used it in long enough. They have it demagnetized. Using a magnetized screwdriver is more than fine. Although sweating in your computer is not okay. Not sure where that went. Well, we're not going to be turning it on for a while, so it'll be fine. These are really not magnetized.
Do you want me to try to get one?
Nah, that's fine.
You may have one downstairs. Hold on.
All right. Do you have any questions about it so far, DJ?
No.
No? All right. Once we put the last one in, we can tighten them all down.
Here, this one should do it.
Oh, I got enough. Thank you. Doesn't feel like it's in.
many screws you need there?
On an ATX, there is 9. So 3 rows of 3. And I'm just kind of going in a star pattern, just randomly finding one and tighten it to hand tight. Don't want anything past that. Even though, again, this being reinforced, don't want to test the waters there. Okay. That's all in. Throw these back in here. Figure that out later. Okay. So, now we're here. Let's tighten these up. And we can start to do our fans. So, a very important thing to know about fans. 99% of companies.
Turn it so people can see.
I know, I'm showing you guys too.
Okay.
The part that you can see, where there's like a little frame in front of the fan, that is the side where the air goes towards. So the air is coming in from this side and out the frame side. So when you build a case, you want to make sure you have what's called positive airflow. You want to make sure air is coming in one side and out another side. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing
I don't feel the air.
in from the bottom, like this, and then out the top, like this. We're also probably going to do some in, like that.
There's some more things.
Yep, it came with fans, but we're not going to use those.
What do we do with these? Put these
These
out?
are like extra.
So those will come through here, and we'll plug them in. So we don't need to do that right now.
Okay.
I think the next thing we should be doing is connecting this AIO. Let's get this guy going. So DJ, look how cool this thing looks.
That's called what? An AIO?
All in one, yeah. AIO. It's so normally what people can do is they can make their own water systems with crazy custom loops and different colors and see-through glass. You can see the liquid. But these are all contained in one, because those you have to change out every 6 months to a year. They can leak a lot easier. This, they're pretty confident these aren't going to leak, and they're trying to tell you that.
Okay.
Now, one thing you always want to do is these radiate. This is a radiator, just like your car has a radiator. It dissipates the heat. What you want to make sure is that you're always kind of pointing it like this. Because what happens is if you point it down like this, you have air bubbles. And they'll never actually push the air out correctly. So what we're probably going to do for our orientation, we're probably going to do it something like this. That's what I think is the best way to do it for us.
Does that get screwed in?
Yep, that will get screwed in. Let's see what we can do
DJ,
next
don't do
here.
that in case you break it. It's ruined.
All right. Don't worry, Father. All right, so let's see this. So first, we're going to screw this in to that radiator.
Wait.
Yeah, it's got to be on the radiator so it blows air over the radiator.
Wait, this?
No, he's got it over there.
This is the radiator right here.
So you're gonna try to put the fan and attach it to this.
Now you can do things anyway. You can put it on either side. Doesn't really make much of a difference. It's called push or pull, or you can put, or if you really want a lot of air moving, you can put it on both sides, and it's called a push and pull, because you're both pushing air and you're pulling air. Now, because this has pretty lights on them, I'm going to do a push, because I want to see the lights from the side. first things first on these, we actually have to connect the power wire to these fans.
Wait, which side is this one?
So this is the power right here. So we do that, and just like we connected them together, that's now connected. All right.
So now we just like attach it here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're gonna screw it onto there. And you see it actually has two wires. One is for power. Oh, excuse me. One is for power and one is for the colors, for the LEDs.
So we're gonna do the light one.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna do both.
We're gonna do red.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do red.
So you see, we made that easy. And you see it already has the screw holes there for you. So let's show everyone else. It's got screw holes right above. You just put them on. Now let's do it over here on the table. Excuse me, DJ. Let's move. Can you move that screwdriver?
I see the fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were UV reactive. That means they lit up from UV light. All right, let's get the screws that come with this. These are really tiny looking screws.
Wait. Oh my God. Those are tiny as a baby.
Yeah.
Those are tiny as a baby.
I'm not sure how they plan on us putting those on. So let's see, there's got to be other screws in here too.
They're not long enough.
Different kind. So,
All right.
take this guy.
Let's see what happens here. I'm very confused by this. There's no way that's gonna work.
No, it's not anywhere near long enough.
So what is this supposed to do? So what is the point of this? Okay, maybe we're gonna put that other fan back on today. Okay, that's very, very odd. Oh, you know what? I bet this guy has the long screws because that's not designed
No.
to be in
No.
an AIO by default. No, I'm still going.
How many do we need here? We need 4, 8, 12.
So this is probably going to be it. Yep. So just make sure those line up. He's going to screw those in. Now, unfortunately, they are kind of black screws, which kind of hurts the aesthetic a little bit, in my opinion. But nasty looks.
Chris, this is entirely different here. This thing.
I gave you the wrong one. Sorry. There you go. DJ always building things over there, playing with the boxes.
Down here.
Mm-hmm. So remember, yeah, try to do them in a different pattern. I'll work on this one with you.
You gotta have a couple more.
Here, here.
Okay.
This one's not catching.
Should be straight.
I'll leave that one out for now then.
You test how tight you want them, because there's gonna be motion there. Did you get that last one in or not?
No.
Chris,
Yeah, bud.
should we open this?
No.
Oh, I already found one
Mm-hmm.
underneath.
There we go. I got it. Okay. Bless you. Okay. Ooh, bless you. All right. Next thing we're going to be doing is putting on the thermal paste. Now this particular one also came with its own, not pre-applied unfortunately, but I happen to have a very high quality one here called Cryonaut from Thermal Grizzly, like a grizzly bear. Arrgh.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. It's new.
Now,
That's scary.
what you want to do on this is there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You know, people have, so I'm putting on the thermal paste onto the CPU. On some coolers, it comes already built onto the cooler. As you can see in this one, there's nothing there. So it did come with this little syringe, but I bought a higher quality one for myself. And there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Most suggest just putting a little, half a pea size dot in the middle. Some do an X, or some spread. This particular company actually wants you to spread it to make sure you have as even of a coat as possible. So that's what I'm going to do. That's also just how I personally prefer to do it. Again, there's really no right or wrong way. Well, there is a wrong way, but most of the ways work. So this is go thing on it, a little plastic. DJ. Alright. So we're gonna simply push a little bit out. Now I'm supposed to get about 2 uses out of this syringe. I'm going to use this little guy to spread it. Now again, you want it to be as thin as possible because all you're trying to do is make a little layer to fill in those air bubbles. And of course I got it on the side right away. You don't want to do that. You do not want the contacts to touch. So, can you go grab the isopropyl alcohol from the bathroom? From when I cleaned it up this morning. A couple of Q-tips.
Where is it? Your bathroom?
In my bathroom, yes. Thank you. I'll keep going here. Now you gotta be very precise with this. DJ, please stop blocking the light. I'm using it. Alright, we almost got a thin layer here. So, oddly enough, less is actually more on this. It's better to have less than too much, because if it's actually too thick, you can't conduct the heat as well. Put a little bit more in here. I am doing very bad at this. I should have just done a dot and let it do the work for me. Thank you.
I didn't need a Q-tip.
Because you got to make it very precise what we got. I don't want to get it all off. So I'm just going to go around the edges.
You want another Q-tip?
Nope. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Right.
Hey, what do you want me to do?
A little more here. So I'm not doing a very good job on this. It has been 18 years since the last time I did this, so. Normally for a newbie, just dropping that pea size is probably the best choice. As I was saying, Father, you might have been out of the room. Less is actually more on this, because the thicker it is, the less conductive it actually ends up being, because the heat has more layers it has to go through.
Do you want another Q-tip?
I think I'm good. I'll redo that later if it's really as bad as it looks. All right. This out. Different parts we need here. I'm gonna do first, DJ, is we're gonna put the fan in on the top, okay?
Wait, this fan?
Nope, this guy that we've already set up. Okay. So what I want you to do for me, barely fits in. Oh, please stop pushing. All right, can you hold it? Hold it here too. Hold it from the bottom. Yep, it's okay. You can touch the fans right now. Oh, I just brought everything where I put it. You okay? All right, I got it.
Hold it up.
Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna put this in. Oh, let's try to get that video there. We're just screwing it in. Okay, hold it a little more.
Maybe shift it a little bit, Chris.
Mm-hmm. I see. That's not the right size screw.
Okay, finish your time.
All right. You don't have to hold that anymore. And again, we're just kind of gonna go in a random pattern here. Obviously, we really don't need all 8 of these. I'm gonna do it because I prefer to be sure. DJ, excuse me, buddy.
All right, do that while you're.
That wasn't the right size. It was stripping us.
What's the right size?
Smaller, I guess. So I'm using a smaller one. So obviously, got to make sure you have a lot of tools around the house, you know, to make sure you have the right stuff. Because stripping any screw, no matter what, is never a good thing.
Okay, I'm assuming these need to be a little tighter because there's going to be motion.
No, that's not much motion.
Another small one. You want this in here?
Wait, should we take the plastic off of this?
We will.
Let's top it off. Just screws. Screws.
How many am I missing?
2.
Screws. I am screwing. Ha ha ha. It will fall right on it. Moo ha ha.
There's one. TJ, see any of the screws over there?
Tiny, but this one's here's one. Oh, I just had one.
All right. You got one there? Here. Well, here's one. Did you just give this to him?
I didn't take this.
There's one.
We'll be fine missing just the one. I can always put that back in later. It's easy enough to take the case back off.
Yeah.
So what I will check though, maybe it fell underneath the case. Did not. Okay. So we now need to take this film off. Leave that there. And where's the parts? You gotta leave it somewhere. Okay, it's okay, Peter. Where did the part go? Alright. This is what happens with live entertainment. You're giving everyone a full show, DJ, huh? Let's take some drink.
What are you looking for?
It was a metal U-shaped piece.
Metal U-shaped piece.
A metal U?
Any chance you happen to touch it, DJ?
Yeah. These are some tiny pliers. Smudge. Wait, this? This?
No.
No.
It's a screw.
Wait, where did I see it? It's not. No, that's not it. You had that with one other thing before.
Can Kyle leave his iPad up here?
Not at the moment.
Kyle leave his iPad here. What's that one?
Mine. Mine that is broken.
Like I said, I expect issues to happen when you build a computer.
What? Okay.
DJ, you really sure you didn't?
Yes.
Now, I remember you had it.
I
So, you didn't say you did. A metal U piece. You cannot install this without a metal
did
U
not
piece.
like seal metal U piece. Or touch it. Is it in one of these blue bags?
No, it's a very big piece.
Okay.
What?
Very
We're not
big.
getting food from there. I gotta
You.
go someplace else.
Why?
You.
Yeah, soon.
You.
Down my dad's. Oh,
You.
I want to sell it.
Not over here.
Let's pick this up. Is it underneath?
You.
Oh, I can't lift it. Sorry.
You.
It's not there.
You.
Yes, I remember.
I know, I had it just a minute ago.
Where did you last put it?
DJ, those are sharp. Please stop playing with the tools.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There.
Alright.
So you?
So,
DJ, you see Kyle's iPad?
Yeah.
What's
our
this?
That's
design is going to be like this.
no. Okay.
Actually, we're going to have to do it like that. So how is this supposed to go on?
What is?
Let me take a look here again. Learning with you guys here on this particular issue. I have never put in water cooling before. Certainly not this one.
It's got to go over this.
I think it's got to replace it. It doesn't really show me much. They are not doing a very good job of informing people how to do things.
Does that have to be
Why
sterile and
can't we
clean?
test this
Mhm.
out?
So the video shows it going this way. And how is that even possible? Okay.
Go take a look at it
I'm
again.
gonna, maybe we'll do the regular fan here just so we can get things done in time tonight.
Which it is nighttime.
Uh-huh. We're already at 2 hours, so it's a lot longer than I was expecting.
Come here a second. Go downstairs and tell Mona, try Bozzies.
Or Bozzies.
Bozzies for the food. Just say, do you want to try Bozzies? Just say, do you want to try Bozzies?
Okay. This thing comes out.
You're touching that glue or whatever you had down there.
No, I'm not. Oh, what's that? Crap. Thermal paste. So that makes it a lot easier. All right.
Now where do you put that?
So hide that for a second. Then put those on that.
Can I hold something?
Nope. Just gonna line things up. And move it down.
Can I hold it down? Or? Yeah.
Fortunately, this already came out of spot. Okay.
You have to lift it up.
So now we put the screws in. This is not staying attached. There we go. All right, well, thank you guys for learning that with me. You as well, Father. And again, we just go into hand tight. There we go. Now, we have these two pins we need to fill in. One is going to be power. The other one is probably going to be communications. Let's double check that as well. So, on this motherboard here, that's a little hard to see here, we have different headers. You see CPU fan, CPU option,
Fingers away.
and RGB is right here. So the fan is what we're going to connect these fans to.
Do you want
And
to
the-
light?
And the option is what we're going to connect this pump to. So the pump is similar to a fan. It is using the same kind of information, the same power to move. But you generally want to do a pump on a slightly different one. Well, this is a 3-pin. So let's see if we got a 3-pin one. There we go. Thank you guys for staying with me here. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, that works. So I'm going to do what I can to tuck this nice and away. Now that we have that in, we can do the video card. There's some yogurt, good thing, it is covered. Now this is a used video card. As you can see, it's probably the biggest component we've had so far. But the video cards you generally want to use on this top slot. So first thing we need to do is remove these slots. Video cards nowadays generally take 2, sometimes even 3 of these slots. That was definitely not the case back in 2002, 2003. So similar to the DIMM, I kind of open that thing in the back there, and you're going to push a little bit harder than you would think. There you go. Should not have thrown away both of those. All right. So now we effectively have all of the components we needed. We only have to connect the power. So that's what we're going to do, because we are running a little bit short here in time. So as you can see, there's a couple different power connectors here. That's been off too. There's this one right here, which is the main power for the board. You can see it is a big old cable, and we'll find the area in the back. We then need a power cable for the graphics card itself, right there. Some graphics cards that are much beefier and much more power can do 2, even 3 of these. So you'll need many, many cables. Finally, there's 2 here for the CPU. The CPU actually takes dedicated power and the motherboard uses it for everything else. And then finally, we will connect everything down here from the case. So let's bring it over. See, these are all the case cables, but we're going to plug in all of our power. So we have the ATX 24 pin, and now I'm going to look. The connector is right here, so I'm going to go through this hole to pass it through. And later we'll tie this down and make it kind of pretty. This is a CPU connector. They are keyed, and they are different, so looks like I am to put it right here. Yep, there we go. And we know the CPU one comes up there, so we're going to go all the way up here and through that hole. But we also need a second one. So I have a second CPU one, and we will do the exact same thing.
Do you have to know which one's which on the other side?
Nope, they do not matter. That's a great question. Because they're keyed, so as long as they go into that key, they can go in wherever. Then finally, the PCIe one. This is pretty much a similar connector. This is what will power the graphics card. So again, we're just gonna find a connector here. Now the graphics card is right here, so I could do this one. I'm gonna come up from this guy. And unfortunately that's not long enough, so
You can push.
we're gonna have to do the whole thing. See if I can do this way. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to see all this extra cable. I'll see if I have any prettier ones that have just, for example, one cable. It does not, so that's unfortunate. And then we have other ones. This is for the SSDs. I don't need to worry about that. We'll come back to that a little bit later. And I'm going to bring all of these in through the bottom. These are all the case items. That's Kyle, everyone. Bring it all down here. And back through this. Let's make this easier for ourselves here. These aren't in yet. So let's take these out. Put these right through. All right, that's a lot better. I'll do the CPU there. Yeah, we'll do the graphics card through that one as well. And it's as simple as plug and play. Would you like to do one, Father?
Go ahead. I'll cut myself.
You don't want to? Okay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. So what's interesting about these ones is you can have 6 or 8 pin. So they kind of have both there for you. So again, unfortunately, that's going to kind of just be ugly because I don't know why they do it that way. They do it because, again, most graphics cards have 2, so you just kind of do it like that next to each other. And then it looks, oh, you see it? Sorry. It just kind of looks a little bit pretty. But with just one, that looks god-awful.
I'm gonna tie it up.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
Okay.
So now we have all these different connectors. These are for the front panels, you can see. So the power LEDs, the hard drive LED will just let you know that it's moving, so is the power switch. So if you bring the light here, Father, you can see here we actually have USB 3, USB 3, audio, and here it actually tells us on the bottom for the front panel. So we see PLED,
Your head's in the way.
hard drive LED. Let's try to get a little closer there. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell, but it is all down there underneath it. So, first off, we have this USB 3.0 right here. And actually, I'm gonna bring that out from right here. Save even more room. Because, you know, cable management is an important part of this. You know, if your cables are not managed correctly, it can A, make a system not look good, especially when you have an open case such as this. And it can actually hurt airflow. Not common, but... So, we're looking here, we have power LED. The minus and the plus. We have the hard drive, minus and the plus. And let's see. Power. Is this 2 right there? And that's all this guy has. Now, this is the HD audio. So again, I'm gonna bring this all the way back down. Hold that, Father. And we're gonna change where that's coming through. Because we can see that on this particular motherboard it's all the way on the other side. The less cables you can see, the better. Okay. Now again, what a lot of these cables try to do to make things easier is it is keyed. So you can see right there, one of these does not have a pin, or a socket in this case, which means here there will be a similar item, so it only fits in one way, making life a whole lot easier.
Do you need to take this off?
Yep, so we can take this off, and actually Leanne Lee does this really neat little thing with this. So, not everyone wants to advertise for the company that they bought. They don't like that. But they make it so it spins. So if your CPU happens to be in a different location, you can make it look pretty. But if you don't want to advertise for that company, I got a little magnet that covers it. All right. So we're pretty close to good here. The last thing we need to do is connect the fans. For right now, we are just going to do these fans that are here. We're not going to do the other sets of fans. We'll do that at another time because of the timing we're at here. So first off, let's put these back on. These are magnetic, so that makes making sure they don't get lost a whole lot easier.
Another one over there.
Yep. That one was for this guy right here, which we don't have any fans on right now anyways, but I will put it there. And there is one on the bottom as well, as that's what we'll end up doing as our intake eventually. We'll put that in later on. We do have the fan controller. Now again, I wish they did a little bit better documentation on this product, but I can see we would connect like that. And then we have a 4-pin. I'll connect that.
Is the surgery gonna take how long?
I can hear you. A couple minutes.
No, that's fine. I just want to know because I'm gonna have the baby down.
No,
at
I
the
know.
point.
No, that's where I'm gonna not do as much here, so that way, you can put the baby down
I'm gonna keep him awake. Let him
until, yeah,
When the other kids go, then I'll.
gotcha. So my wife just wants to put our son down. He's 8 months old at this point. So this stuff I'm going to sneak through here. And I guess I could do that with this too. Now I'm just gonna leave this free floating. We're on short time here. But it does come with pads, so we can stick it somewhere. Eventually what I'll probably do is I'll keep this nice and straight. Put this guy back on, and then I'll just have it sitting there. That way I can access it if I need to without having to take things apart. for short term today, that is something we are not going to be able to get done. Okay. And we got this all back. Okay. Now we need to connect this to its proper locations. Now, something I should have mentioned before is you always want to make sure your power supply is in the off position. So when you plug it in, because once the power's on, the lights should turn on. So we need to get that plugged in. And so for that, we have these cables to choose from. Looks like it can take SATA power, which means I'd have to plug another thing into there. This is for the lights. We can do USB power in the front and USB power. So I think we will probably take the USB power route. Although those things actually had good information in them. So we're just simply matching up the right sizes. I'm going to check that documentation, because these actually had good documentation. So once we actually have good documentation, we should use it, especially when we are a little bit out of our element here. So. All right, so it's saying you connected to the connector. That makes sense. Okay. Wait, bless you. So yep, we can either do SATA or USB power. That's how I'm understanding this. Does not seem to be saying we need both. So let's do that. Okay. There we go. I got a small 3-pin connector. And we will be sending some of this stuff back through. This one will go down there to the USB. And I know there is a 3-pin RGB header up here. Let's go out there. So again, this is keyed. And again, keyed for the 3 version. There we go. I think we are at a stage where we can boot this guy up and test. Bring him over here. Connect it. We'll connect our HDMI cable so we can actually see it. It's usually a very helpful feature.
You need a light?
Just need to figure out which one it is. Oh, I don't think I have one at the moment. Okay, so I will add one. Luckily, I have some down here waiting for me. We'll connect it to the video card HDMI outlet. Now, a very odd thing is my keyboard that I'm currently using